Here we are again talking about progressive overload, and increasing volume is the name of the game. Volume, as I've said before, is reps times sets times weight. If you're looking at strength training as the example. But let's talk about FIT first. FIT principle is frequency, intensity, time, and type of exercise. Frequency, how often are you doing it? Intensity level, how intense is the workout? The amount of time that you're doing the actual workout for, or the activity, and the type of activity. Type could be like stretching, strength training, cardiovasculars, etc., etc. And frequency is pretty self-explanatory, but intensity is one that some people have a challenge measuring. And there's two really easy ways to measure intensity. Your rate of perceived exertion. So how hard are you working out of 10? So 10 being the hardest you could work. What's your rating out of 10? And for most time, to see the most change, you want to be at least at a 4 or more out of 10. Anything close to like 1 or 2 is more leisurely, and maybe almost like you're just walking from the fridge to the couch. But another way to measure intensity is your heart rate. And a lot of these trackers now have the heart rate intensity measurement on there. And what you might need to know is what your working zones should be to get to different intensity levels. There is calculators for this. There's one on the Insight Coaching website in case you're wondering and you want to figure out your specific zones. Now, the idea is that you need to progress with the FIT principle. And I'm going to give you an example. So let's say when you learned the multiplication table, you really had to learn it. You start to almost memorize it. You probably actually did. You could probably even recite it while you're sleeping at this point. But you need to take this multiplication table that you've learned and start to apply it. You need to start doing some formulas, some equations, some advanced calculus perhaps. And the idea is that you took these basic things that you're doing and you're making them more challenging. You're challenging yourself, and for that reason you're progressing. And maybe doing that really easy multiplication table doesn't take the same brain power it once did. Very similar to exercise. You need to keep your brain in it, because usually plateaus are psychological, that your brain will get bored before your body. But as long as you're progressing, your body will never get bored of it, because you're continually making it a little bit more challenging. So if you look at plateauing, usually it's because your brain got bored in some way and you haven't progressed enough that you're stuck at it. And then sometimes it's important to go in a different direction for a bit and come back. That's why periodization is really important. But really, you need to always just continually progress it, be a little bit more than it was before. And we talked a lot about that the last time we spoke about progressive overload, but I'm going to give you a running example. Let's say when you first learned how to run, it was really difficult. You almost had to learn the mechanics. Yes, it was a little bit natural, but to get good at running, you had to practice a little bit. And there was no way when you're first running that you would be able to run and kick a ball really easily. But once you got really good at running, you could run, kick a ball, jump over something, maybe throw something, catch something, go around something. And you got really good at running, and you're able to add some more in. And that's really about exercise. You need to learn the basics, and then you can start adding some stuff in. You need to progress. But overall, forever, the name of the game is going to be increasing the total volume of what you're doing through the FIT principle. So the amount of times you're doing it, the intensity level, the time you're doing it, or sometimes type. Like if you go from walking to running, for example, that's how you progress in terms of type. From stretching to some form of more advanced yoga, that's the way you progress the type. It is not as easy to progress type as it is improving the other 3 of the FIT principle elements, but in some way or another, you need to be progressing at all times, and you need to progressively overload, so doing more than you did before. And that's it. That's all you need to know for today. But today, you need to be doing more than yesterday, tomorrow more than today, and so on and so forth. And that's how you get to your goal. Thank you.